how can I tell if I'm a narcissist?
There's a lot of nonsense online. Like there's someone who says that if you ask yourself whether you're a narcissist, you're not a narcissist.
Yeah. TikTok therapy.
And other nonsense like this. There's a lot of nonsense online. I think the only test of whether you're a narcissist or not is to observe the reactions of those around you. Narcissism is recognized in its impacts. Even very experienced clinicians find it very difficult to diagnose narcissistic personality disorder. First of all, we don't have real rigorous tests. The tests that we have, such as the NPI and the PNI, these are the classical tests. They rely on honest self-reporting, which I think it's a prime comedy to rely on the narcissist's honest self-reporting to diagnose the narcissist. And that's the extent of testing that we have. So psychological tests are out. Then we have structured interviews. But narcissists are con artists, and they're very good at manipulating, including manipulating experienced clinicians. To cut a long story short, it's exceedingly difficult to diagnose narcissistic personality disorder with a modicum of rigor and certainty. But if you were to observe what's happening to people around the narcissist, you are likely to come up with the correct answer. So if you see people losing their identity and self, people saying, for example, I don't recognize myself. I've changed so much. That's not me. You know, when I'm around him, that's not me. I don't recognize myself. If people report extreme discomfort, if they report emotional dysregulation, and this is a new phenomenon. They did not used to have emotional dysregulation. Now they do. Emotional dysregulation simply means you are overwhelmed by your own emotions. You can't control them. They control you. If they suddenly externalize aggression, they become aggressive or even violent. If they act out, if they become defiant, etc., etc. If we observe this in people around a specific individual, it is extremely likely that this individual is a narcissist. Now, Robert Hare, who came up with the main test for psychopathy, the PCLR, Robert Hare recognized this. The PCLR is self-reporting and as such is laughable. But Robert Hare added a module to the PCLR where the clinician is obliged to interview the narcissist's nearest and dearest. So the PCLR is composed of two modules, self-reporting and reporting by people around the psychopath. We don't have something like this for narcissism, and we direly need it.
Yes.
We need to create a test or a structured interview that involves people around the narcissist. You know, it's a lot like a black hole. No one can see a black hole because light cannot escape from a black hole. But we can see what happens to objects around the black hole.
Right, metaphor.
They behave in very strange ways. They have strange orbits. They suddenly disappear when they are absorbed by the black hole. So then we know there's a black hole there. We know by observing objects around the black hole.
Right. Wow. That is so clear to me, because it's hard to get sort of straight answers from people, because it just seems to be this sort of movable feast of symptoms and diagnosis and things like that. As you know, there's all this on the internet. If they gaslight you, if they do this, if they do that, but it's very reductive. I think.
And it's also not it's not a differential diagnosis. It's a blunt instrument, because many people gaslight. Not all of them are narcissists.
Exactly.
Many people, I don't know, abuse other people. For example, only a tiny minority of abusers actually suffer from personality disorders. So we have many abusers who are mentally healthy. It's not these are not what we call differentials. Observing these behaviors doesn't tell you that someone is a narcissist. can tell you that someone is an abuser, an a-hole, or a jerk, but not that he's a narcissist.
Right.